Hello, this is our first trip of 2023 and I thought I should bring you along. Our destination, Croatia, for an amazing sailing competition. The first part of our trip will be done by ferryboat, leaving directly from Barcelona. So on a Wednesday afternoon we started packing our bags and getting ready slowly. As our departure is from the Barcelona port, our route was easy, just going along the coast on the ring road, also known as the Ronda Litoral. Luckily, there was no traffic, so we arrived in the port around 2 hours early to do the check-in. Also, this gave us plenty of time to hang around and meet the four other bikers that were also waiting to cross. Motorcycles usually get priority when boarding on the boat. Here you can see us going in a line, getting into this iron monster. After going all the way up to the third floor, we were instructed by the staff of the ferry boat on where to park our bikes. Normally each one has to secure their own bike, so here you can see me going to pick up the straps. This way I've also discovered a new kind of strap that doesn't have a ratchet mechanism. The first ferry trip is from Barcelona to Civitavecchia, somewhere near Rome, while passing between the islands of Corsica and Sardinia. We had a very nice sunrise, part of our 23 hours on the smooth and calm seas. Sandwiches we got from home, and at the night we have found some spots in a room full of reclining chairs. The next day we left to cross Italy from the west to the east, trying to get to the next ferry boat that will take us to Split in Croatia. As the next ferry boat was a night ferry, we had a lot of time to do the 300 kilometers, so we decided to take the national roads. As we set off at the end of April, I think that still counts as springtime. Everything was so green and blooming. The sides of the roads were filled with colored flowers and the whole route smelled like perfume. I think this area counts as Lower Tuscany. If you think otherwise, write a comment below. Now let me tell you about this GPS setup I was trying for the first time. It mostly did a good job, but during the trip it managed to confuse me a couple of times. But you know what? One of those confusing moments turned out to be serendipitous. We accidentally took a narrow, unmarked road that wound up its way up the mountains instead of sticking to the national road down in the valley. What a surprise! Once we reached the top, we were greeted by the most breathtaking landscapes. I mean, seriously, it was one of the best roads I've ever driven. It had clean asphalt, smooth curves, and the best part, absolutely no traffic. Afternoon came and we arrived in Ancona. We decided to grab a bite to eat before boarding on the ferry boat. We were so exhausted that we ended up dozing off as soon as we settled in. This ferry lasted about 13 hours. We arrived in Split around 7 in the morning. The only downside of being one of the first to get on the ferry boat is that you have to wait for everyone else to get off before you can exit. As you can see, the space was pretty tight. Once we finally made it off the ferry, we hit the road to get to Murter, the charming little village with two big marinas about an hour north of Split. The highway was a bit crowded around Split, and I think it took us like half an hour to get there. We avoided the highway and went on the national roads, and let me tell you, the scenery reminded me of parts of Spain or Greece. The road was in great condition with smooth curves, and surprisingly, there wasn't much traffic considering it was a Saturday morning. The Croatian coast is very different from what I'm used in Spain. It's filled with islands, bridges, and breathtaking cliffs. The blue-green sea is simply out of this world. Heading towards Murter felt like we were driving to the edge of the world. It's located at the end of an island, and the only way to get there is through this small blue drawbridge. We entered this small village, which is called Bettina. It feels like a small fishing village with its narrow streets. It took a bit of navigating, but we eventually managed to get to our friends' cars. After a bit of texting back and forth, we figured that they were already in the marina checking out on the boat, so we headed that way to start unpacking the motorbike and get this thing started. Hope you stick around for the second episode, which will be mostly a sailing video.